The news day continues here on One News Now Business. I'm Diego Castro. Here are the biggest stories on the economic and corporate fronts. Several U.S. firms have pledged to invest in the Philippines after meeting with President Bongbong Marcos in Washington. Ultrasafe Nuclear Corporation said it is considering the Philippines for its first nuclear energy facility in Southeast Asia. The company told Marcos Jr. that they will help address the series of blackouts that hit several areas of the country. The president also met with executives of Atento, which plans to put up its first call center in the Philippines to be located in Iloilo City. Marcos Jr. told the company that they made the right decision as Filipinos speak and write the best English. Meanwhile, solar firm Maxion expressed its intent to invest some $900 million in solar energy in the Philippines. The company told Philippine delegates that the investment is expected to provide more than 3,000 jobs in the next few years. The president also met with Analog Devices to further strengthen and expand their operations in the Philippines. Currently, the firm has a university program implemented by Analog Devices, General Trias, for engineering students. Marcos Jr. capped a series of business meetings in Washington with American healthcare services provider Optum. The company said it plans to invest some 800 million pesos in medical business process outsourcing in the Philippines. Migrant Workers Chief Susan Ople said U.S. firms are also willing to employ Filipino workers from battle-scarred Sudan. The agency is already preparing their profiles, which will be provided to employers in the U.S. and other countries. Listed firm Metro Pacific Investments Corporation reported higher income in the first 3 months of 2023, led by demand for utilities. Amid a good start for the year, however, Chairman Manny Pangilinan defended plans to privatize the firm. Shaila Francisco with the rest of the details.
Metro Pacific Investments Corporation welcomed 2023 with good news. This comes as its core income hit 4.3 billion pesos in the first quarter, up by 38% compared to the same period last year. Its power and water businesses led the growth as more businesses continue to recover from the pandemic. Meralco alone contributed higher income due to the resumption of face-to-face classes and higher demand from hotel, restaurant, and real estate business. For this year, MPIC says it has allotted 140 billion pesos to fund its water and power businesses. MPIC also assures the public that despite plans to delist, business will remain as usual.
There's not going to be any change. We will run MPIC as if it was publicly listed. We will maintain the same board governance. We will still maintain the board committees. And we will also be publishing our integrated reports. At the end of the day, we want to give you the public comfort, that we would still be focused on our purpose of basically providing essential services to the Filipino and uplifting the lives of our country.
Last week, MPIC announced its plan to voluntarily delist from the local boards after it received a tender offer notice from a consortium to acquire a minority stake of the conglomerate. The consortium consists of Metro Pacific Holdings, GT Capital Holdings, MIT Pacific Infrastructure Holdings, and MIG Holdings. MIG Holdings is controlled by MPIC Chairman Manny Pangilinan. Pangilinan defended the move to go private, saying MPIC's current share price in the stock market does not reflect the value of the company. The consortium is offering to buy per share at 4 pesos and 63 centavos above the 4 pesos and 26 centavos share price before the delisting plan was announced.
Wala naman nangyari sa share price until we made the tender announcement, di ba? 380, 4 pesos, 410, never really moved. So, wala. So, we said, then why are we a public company if you cannot raise public money? Diba? And how can you raise equity money at a very low share price? It's punitive on the existing shareholders. It just limits your ability to grow. Kasi saan ka kukuha pera to buy this or to buy that or to invest here?
Pangilinan also has this to say about MPIC's plan to go private.
I'm also getting, frankly, quite tired of being Pangilinan-led and that sort of thing. So I want to be identified as an owner as well, albeit a modest owner of Metro Pacific, no? So that That was something I'd like to see.
The tender offer will run until June. Shaila Francisco, we are One News.
LT Group has named Lucio Tan III as its president after the year-long transition period, replacing his uncle Michael G. Tan. The 30-year-old executive is the grandson of LT Group chairman and CEO Lucio Tan. He will be replacing his uncle Michael G. Tan at the helm of the LT Group. Tan III will also serve as the Chief Operating Officer and Vice Chairman concurrently with his new post. He also serves as President and Chief Operating Officer of Tanduay Distillers, as well as Vice President of PAL Holdings. Senate President Mig Zubiri suggests letting foreign entities operate the Ninoy Aquino International Airport following the most recent power interruption at the airport. Zubiri says allowing foreign firms to manage airports in the country is allowed under the Public Services Act. The Senate President eyes the group managing Singapore's world-class Changi Airport as a potential operator of Manila's main gateway. Zubiri also believes it is also high time that the President ask airport officials whether or not they will be able to resolve issues at the NAIA.
I'm sorry, but we're looking for all options para mapaganda ang sistema at paglalakad ng ating national airports. The President should just give an ultimatum to the NAIA management or NAIA 1, 2, and 3. Kung hindi nyo kaya yan, i-outsource na lang natin yan. Ganun na lang. It's within his powers. And then they can do a bidding process.
Zubiri also says the Senate is ready to approve additional funding if it meant resolving the issues that hound the NAIA once and for all.
We in the Senate are ready to fund. Nag-usap na kami ni Senator Sani Angara together with Ma'am Grace po at handa na po kami mag-funding, magdagdag funding sa DOTR para sana, sana matigil na po itong mga power interruptions, itong mga failure of mechanisms and systems once and for all. Dahil nakakahiya, nakakapwerwisyo ng ating mga kababayan.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Fitch Solutions BMI expects the country's household spending to grow by 5.9% yearly in the next 4 years. That's an upgrade from its previous growth projection of 5.1% for 2024 to 2027. BMI said inflationary forces will remain elevated, but nominal income growth is still forecast to outpace it. It explained that this would ensure real income growth for consumers, giving greater propensity for spending. Last year, household consumption grew by 8.3% from 4.2% in 2021. The Asian Development Bank says official development assistance and loans are not enough to meet climate development goals. The ADB says nations must maximize their respective financing capacities and leverage the private sector's enormous potential. Private capital must also be effectively mobilized to countries most affected by climate change. According to the ADB, the Asia-Pacific region generates at least 50% of global carbon dioxide emissions. Given this, the ADB says developing Asia needs to invest $13.8 trillion in infrastructure to support growth and meet climate goals. The Agriculture Department needs around 18 million pesos for cloud seeding operations. DA Field Operations Director Nikos Manalo said cloud seeding operations would help mitigate the impact of El Nino. The process involves the manual seeding of clouds with salt to augment rainfall over an area.
Sa amin namang budget na nasa dito sa regular budget ng DA, meron kaming allocation para doon. But ang tinitingnan siguro natin yung request for cloud seeding, no? So sa ngayon may initial request for 18 million. 18 million ang initial request for cloud seeding operation.
The DA also plans to develop and rehabilitate water management systems like irrigation canals.
Water management through NIA and Irrigators Association, or doon tayo magbibigay ng tulong doon sa pumping irrigation. Lalo ito yung mga nasa areas na nasa tail end na ng irrigation system.
And those are the top business stories of the hour. I'm Diego Castro. Join us again at 2 p.m. We are One News. All sides, all the time.